Yeah.
All right, so for the producers, because we did just watch such an emotional episode, what I would love to know is how do you go there without crossing the line into being cheesy? Because I think if this episode were to be described and you're going to have these cheerleaders talk about how it's so much more important, you know, what's on the inside as opposed to outside, it sounds like an after-school special, and you watch it, and it's so damn cool. How do you guys do that? What are those discussions like, and how do you keep the cool factor in Glee?
Well, we're really cool.
I mean, we can see that right here.
Super.
I don't know. I mean, I think that the show is about two things that are so clear to us. I think the show is about the power and the need of the arts in our country. I think that's the main focus that we have. And I think the show is also about, you know, the power of inclusion and how the most different thing about you is ultimately the most beautiful thing about you and the best thing that you have to offer. And I think so many people have trouble dealing with that. I think it's very painful. I mean, you know, when we think about that, before we come up with an episode like this, that idea really resonates. I mean, and we draw, you know, from our personal lives, of course. I mean, the story, Chris Colfer's story with him and his dad is very, you know, very much based on my relationship with my father and scenes that I actually had with my dad growing up. So, I mean, it's I think the more personal it is, the less cheesy it is.
Good answer. Now, Ian, I know this originated with a feature film script that you had done that was sort of a darker comedy. Is that correct? How different was it from what the show became?
Totally different. I think because my notion of like I was in show choir in high school, like, and my experience of it was different. Like it wasn't. It's something that kind of stuck with me, and I could never kind of like forgive myself for in a lot of ways. And it just stuck with me, and I was like, God, why has no one ever written about this? It's such a weird, such a strange world. And I think that of the three of us, that strangeness and the weirdness and the darkness and the cutting, that's always what I gravitate towards. And happily, that comes out a lot in the character of Sue Sylvester. Like that, it's helpful for me just for therapy, and also just of like, I think partially too, when we kind of can get our cake and eat it too, that like you can have storylines that are very, very heartfelt and things that would seem very much like a coming on, you know, on an ABC after school special, but like it's, but you can cut against it hard too, and I think that's what's helpful. And that was kind of such a surprise for me personally, like when the three of us started writing together, that it became this whole other way more wonderful thing that just like sings. It's so much. I mean, the three of us can do so many more things than I can do. So it's a wonderful like little team.